I have written actually 3 books. I'm working on a 4th one now. What I do is I call myself the author of contemporary fiction. You can also call that popular. I like to present the South in a very contemporary way where we get along, where we actually have professional people here. We wear shoes, we read books. We have very gentle Southern accents. The 3 books I've written, House Call, Points of Origin, and Fresh Frozen, are still what I call current novels. They're still in the bookstores. People are still discovering me, perhaps finding it fascinating that a doctor can write books and still practice medicine. But most authors out there, except for the very few, still have some sort of job that they do. And that there's a lot of fallacy out there that writing books doesn't bring in a lot of money, like I said, but it really does bring in a lot of satisfaction. It is a tremendous treat for me to think that anyone has come down here to listen to me talk about my books. I'm honored when they come to me as a patient, but again, this is, I told my mother the other day, I said, anybody can be a doctor, but not everyone can write a novel. So, you know, you can think of it along those lines. I am going to read from Fresh Frozen in just a minute. I want to talk a little bit about the books in general first. All 3 have won some writing awards. These, in fact, Fresh Frozen won a national first place award for the cover. They did give me honorable mention for the writing side, but I guess it does say that you can judge a book by its cover. To me, if I could have a writing ritual, that would be so nice. I mean, I write just whenever I can. And I do get up at 5:30 basically most every day to get ready to go to work. I tried getting up at 5 to see if I could write for 30 minutes. I usually write at night. On the weekends I catch up. Wife calls me Linus because I'm always carrying so many things with me. When they go on a trip, I take my laptop with me in case I might have a few hours to write. It'd be nice to have a writing ritual. I think it's more of a compulsion now, because once you write and you've had seen your name in print and you had somebody tell you they like what you write, you really can't stop. If I were myself writing a screenplay, I would actually start the book with this particular scene. It involves a movie star named Alan Saxton, who is a superstar. She was a superstar from age 8, and she has gone through her life. She's been married a couple of times, bad marriages. She's never had any children. She finally decides that she wants to have a baby, and she has done a little internet search and found a specialty reproduction clinic in Canton, Mississippi that a doctor from New York has established, where you can seek fertility treatments and where you can get frozen embryos. That's where Fresh Frozen comes from. It's not a frozen body. She thinks that she can come to Mississippi. The paparazzi will not find her. No one will know her down here, but is she wrong? Because there is someone trying to steal her embryos. Now that, by the time you get to this particular chapter, chapter 10, you're sort of getting the feel about that going on. So I set this sort of a retrospective scene here to give you a little bit of understanding about where Alan Saxton is coming from and a little bit of her interactions with her mother. Santa Monica, California, 1982. Hurry up, Alan. We need to be there by 10 o'clock or they'll cut you. The voice swept up the stairs, sharp edges of aggravation ricocheting from the banister to the opposite wall. Park Saxton swallowed hard, trying to suppress the growing anger, and she hammered out again, this time with a touch of motherly understanding, just a slight, insincere touch. Please, Alan, for heaven's sake, hurry up. There was purpose to Park Saxton's anger, an intense style molded precisely to match the moment or the carelessness of its recipient. 8-year-old Alan Saxton would never have fathomed the strong slap across her flawless face. Alan, I know you want to look your best, but doll, we'll be late if you don't come on down. Alan's mother decided to lower the decibels of her screaming a bit. No need to strain the voice and alert the neighbors. Somehow Park Saxton held back from stomping her right foot a second time. It was throbbing from the first, and her knee ached from the jolt. Earlier in the week, during her routine study of the entertainment rags, she had spotted this open casting call in Variety, a mere snippet that signaled a last-minute replacement opportunity for an acting job in Hollywood. Somebody probably got sick and had to cancel out. Poor thing. She sneered to herself. And I'm sure she was just perfect for the part. Shaking her head in mockery, she added, no doubt, a gifted young girl. Park Saxton never questioned her own daughter's natural and consistent ability to dance, sing, and perform comedy or drama. For a 10-year-old, she was off the talent charts, particularly when it came to improvisational performances. Another reason her auditions went so well. Oh, I really am so sorry for that other girl, a grinning Park Saxton said aloud to herself when first noticing the variety ad and circling it with a flare pen. Her daughter was not going to miss this audition, and shame on the other girl's mother for letting her own daughter get sick. Like everything else for my Alan, this part was just meant to be, she declared with authority as she folded the paper and slid it into a zippered section of her oversized purse. Come on, Alan, please! Park again screamed at the foot of the stairs. She wanted to yell, damn it, but had sworn off the foul language, a trait that had garnered frequent criticism from her ex-husband, one of his few correct opinions of her, or so she thought. Still, there was no response, and there were no footsteps hurrying down the hall. In a house the size of the Saxtons, there was no way to miss them. Alan, for God's sakes! Again, she wanted to say worse to her headstrong daughter. This could be your big chance. She pleaded, stamping her right foot on the foyer rug, a reflex this time. That big break you've been waiting for. But Mama, my hair. Turned her head side to side, eyes remaining focused on the mirror. Maybe the wings will hold anyway. She grabbed the supersized pink-colored aerosol spray can from the vanity and in the same motion released most of its contents on her thick blonde hair, gluing the surface strands together. As Alan was forced to hold her breath, the hairspray fog erased her reflection in the makeup mirror that covered the entire wall of her vanity. Even with the aid of the glaring bare light bulbs that lined the edges of the glass, the mist was impenetrable. Doll, you're going to grow up to be the spitting image of Farrah Fawcett, her mother had said so many times to her. Although Alan disagreed, she believed herself now to be more beautiful than Farrah Fawcett. Alan Saxton was more than simply the 10-year-old version of the television star. She was better. Greg glanced at his watch after the blast. Thank God for my sandbags. They've been busy, Major, but surely this one's over. It's got to be. And like I said, I need you here at the hospital now. Brad sat upright on the bare floor, leaning his head against the bed, still below the level of the outside barrier. He glared again at his watch. He was due another 2 hours of daylight sleep, and last night's flight transporting military patients had drained him. Come on, it's only 3 p.m., Cosser, and I was down pretty hard. Even if they hadn't hit us this afternoon, you probably would have waked me up anyway. But that's why you doctors make the big bucks, she chuckled and then said, oh, that's right, I forgot you volunteered. The two-way radio cracked a bit as the last shell of the insurgent strike hit randomly within the base, but still close enough to repepper the sandbags and loosen Brad's grip on the casing. Retrieving the radio from the floor, and my 4 months is just about up, he said. I think you called only to make sure some shell didn't splatter my guts across the sitting triangle. Then you'd have to handle the next air transport to Landstuhl by yourself. You trauma guys are really too smart, particularly the sexy ones, can see right through a nurse like me, or at least you'd like to. Brad grimaced at the visual. All he wanted to do was crawl back up into his bed alone.